What is this thing called?
This is Finding Neutral. I'm Nick.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Travis.
That was good.
And today, I would say this kind of falls under the category of like old Top Gear, the news. But it's not really news.
They had topics.
Well, we're going to have topics. We just don't quite know what they are going to be yet.
As they come to us.
And as we were discussing before the music, the Scoot Squad Challenge.
Frostbite.
20 days per month riding.
Well, let's set it up. So what is the Frostbite?
Well, the Frostbite is us riding when normal people don't ride.
And when is that?
Between the months of November and January as of today.
And what are all the rules and stipulations to it?
20 activities, we'll say, per month, of which you can do a motorized two-wheeled vehicle, a scooter or a bike, at least 5 miles. You can do a bicycle, 2 miles, an e-mobility device, say, what? A one-wheel, a scooter at Walmart for 2 miles. You can run 1 mile, and you have to post the time. And did we not say that it has to be less than 10 minutes?
Sub 10-minute mile.
And it has to be outside.
Has to be outside.
And then the one I added, 1 mile swimming
1 mile swimming is acceptable.
with the cap.
Got to have this cap on. So in that whole thing you laid out, you're talking about this has to be done 20 days, at a minimum of 20 days out of the month. And ideally, it's supposed to be you're riding your motorcycle. But the other things came about because, like you, Nick, you travel for work. So, we had to make an accommodation for when you're traveling. And the other stuff is just goofy. So, if you want to do some goofy, weird stuff outside in the winter, then you can supplement your motorcycle riding. But I think the main focus is to do it on your bike.
Yes. And I would say, like today, with normal people, we had a discussion about motorcycles because one of my friends at brunch today said that one of their friends was going to do their last ride for the year today. And I said, come on now, we're just getting started.
I always think that's weird. Like when people claim like, oh, this is the last one. This is the last ride out for the year, the last one for the season. Then I'm putting the bike up. I'm always like, you can ride them still afterwards. Like there doesn't have to be like, we don't have to close for the winter like I'm an amusement park or something. Like you can still ride. I know it's not always ideal. And
well, it could be 70 degrees in 2 weeks.
Oh, exactly.
And who wouldn't ride?
Well, there certainly will be a day or two that will be abnormally warm, and everybody will get their bikes out.
Not everybody. Some people will put it away and then not bring it back out.
Some will, but there's I know I have a couple of them at my work that are just fair rider weather riders, and they'll bring it out that one day. They'll come out and ride the bike and take a bunch of pictures and Instagram and Bookface and for the gram and all that, and they'll get their one day in. They'll be like, "Oh, I ride during the winter." It's like
sounds like they ride Harleys.
It was 70, like
that was the Harley voice
or Goldwings. One of them's a Goldwing rider.
Plus Barb.
He does have a Barb. I guess you'd call her.
That'd be great if her name was actually Barb.
I don't know that she rides with him because we're talking about
Mark. Yeah, I figured Mark.
I don't know that she rides with him. I don't even like riding on a motorcycle near him. He's like, I went out and rode with him once.
Unpredictable.
It was something else. Like, he's a good rider.
No steady pace.
But I've been spoiled with the way that you have trained me how to ride, in that you ride a steady pace, you go just as fast in the corners as you go in the straights. You don't get on the gas real hard, get on the brakes real hard. It's a nice, smooth, flowy, steady, consistent. And he is just the opposite of that. They gas it up as soon as they get out of a corner. They park them in the corners. he can ride, so it's a little bit better, and he usually leads the rides that I've seen him go on with the people that he goes with. But they're like the cruiser-esque kind of group, and he's just the gold wing up front that is capable of going faster than everybody else. And he's a dirt bike rider too, so like he has
That's where the aggression comes from.
It's
A lot of
the
dirt
aggressiveness
riders.
of a dirt bike rider on the street on a gold wing, and he's like 50. So it's just like you kind of want to be a couple car lengths behind just for
Give him space.
when something wild happens, because it might happen. You never know. He's just kind of like a loose cannon, a little bit, just a little reckless, in my opinion. Enough that, like, I have done some dumb stuff and can do some dumb stuff, and it was like, you gonna do that? Like, you're gonna take it like that? Like, all right, like there was gravel right there, but go for it. You're gonna hammer that corner that hard.
Were you on the Tiger?
I was on the Tiger.
I figured you were on the
And
Tiger.
I had no problem keeping up.
Oh, yeah, that's not the issue.
I could outclass him definitely on the bike, but
Yeah, but when he grabs a handful of brakes and you're not expecting it,
it was reckless to do so. Yes, yeah.
you're not expecting that him to just park it like that, and you're trying to flow into the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, whoa, dude, I've already got lean angle. I can't just add brakes.
Not on that bike.
I'm
not really.
committed. That's it.
Yeah, so just, and I haven't seen his bike in 3 weeks now. Ever since, pretty much, like, I didn't ride like all the week before we started the Frostbite challenge. Just to, like, I rode a day or two before just to get my gear sorted out and figured out what I wanted to do. But ever since then, pretty much, I haven't really seen him ride at all. And I've been riding every day, and I park right up front, right next to
And
all the signs.
On the sidewalk?
Everybody stares at me every time I come in and park my shit.
Well, yeah, you on a 1984 Honda Elite 250.
Hey, it's an 87.
Who wouldn't stare?
that is a fine machine.
It is black, so it's.
When are we going to paint it?
I want to wrap it.
We can wrap it. We
like,
can definitely wrap it.
You know that bike up at your shop that's flat. It's not flat. It's a single tone gray gloss, just like
Nardo gray.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
Audi Nardo Gray.
yeah. I want that.
Yeah, you want that battleship gray kind
Let's
of look.
do it.
Yeah, but like battleship gray, but it like gloss on the outside.
Yeah.
I really like.
Oh, we
that.
can do that.
I don't know why, but I just really like that.
'Cause you're a
color
millennial.
gray, probably.
Yeah, millennials are obsessed with gray.
50 Shades of Gray.
Mm-hmm.
That would be about like 36 on the 50 Shades.
Yeah, like 3/4 of the rooms in my house are gray. So
When I lived in a condo, I bought it, and it had burnt orange and yellow on all the walls.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was bad. I repainted the whole 1,600-foot condo, and I think I used 7 shades of gray with a gray contrast wall that was darker.
Have you ever been into my house?
Just the garage.
Just the garage. So you've been in since we've changed it. So when we first bought the house, it was all kinds of weird colors. We repainted all the rooms, and for whatever reason, my wife has this obsession with orange. She thought it was going to be a good idea to paint the dining room orange, like an orange, colored orange. Like it was bright and aggressive.
How long until you painted over it?
Like 3 or 4 months ago, we painted it because it was just too much. I had grown accustomed to it, and I was like, whatever. I don't really care that much. I prefer like white or like off-white or like a dark gray, and anything more than that, it's like too much. I would do like if I was gonna paint like my gaming room or something like that, or my computer room or whatever, I might do a really dark gray or black or something, just so that it's black when you want it to be black inside.
I did a pretty dark gray in my office that I don't use.
But that orange, it was aggressive.
Okay, so you need to go find some wrap, preferably Avery Dennison. I have found that that's easier to work with, and we're going to wrap the scooter.
Let's do it. You want me to pull the panels off?
Well, you could do... that probably would be
It's easy to pull
better.
the panels off.
Yeah.
The front is the only one that's slightly difficult. It's 3 pieces. So I can definitely pull the pieces off, but it might just be easier just to pull the whole
I
front
think
off.
you have enough trim lines that if things need to not be a single piece, it's probably possible too.
I mean, the
5 yards / 5 meters is what you need.
yeah, because really there's those 2 side panels by the rear wheels. Those come off super easy, 3 screws.
And then do the bumper trims come off too?
They might. I know the front does because I've had it off before. The back one screws off. The ones that go down the side panels might come off, but I don't know if I've taken them off before. I'm sure they come off because they're a different material. So they have to come off in some manner. I'm sure there's screws underneath. I would like to take those off anyways because I'd like to clean and paint them like they're faded. And I've tried the back to black and all of that jazz, and it just, nothing is working. So I think they just need repainted. And then
We can do that too.
It's a 40-year-old scooter, Travis.
I'm deep in on this. I'm all in on this stupid thing now. It's got my favorite tire brand on it, Pirelli's.
Shinko.
It's got Pirelli's on it.
Well,
Shinko.
didn't we discuss the Shinkos we have on our scooters suck in the rain?
They do suck in the rain.
These
man.
Pirellis are fantastic in the rain.
Like, I nearly looped it on the Brent Spence the other day when it rained. It had been a couple weeks since
Was
it
this
rained.
before or after you locked up the rear?
Before I locked up the rear.
You haven't rode it since then.
Yeah, it's still sitting in the shop apart right now, waiting on parts. But I was coming across the Brent Spence, and it had just rained for the first time in a couple weeks, and it was like there was extra oil that came up out of the asphalt. Man, it was the slickest I've ever felt on a motorcycle without it being ice. The rear end stepped out at least a foot, if not more. And that wasn't even while I had the throttle applied or the brake applied or anything. I was just rolling straight, neutral throttle, and the rear end just steps way out for like no reason. It was one of those times when like you get such a scare from almost crashing that it was like
Butt pucker level 10.
oh man, it was like pretty sketch. It gave me the shakes. It did. That one gave me the shakes. Not as bad as the tire locking up. The tire locking up gave me, when I got off the bike after I came to a stop, I was shaking still.
Well, so that was what, 2 times in a week?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, that is scoot life. So
Scoot life is not for the faint-hearted.
I don't have those problems on my scooter.
Well, what about when your tire?
Ooh, yeah.
You
when the
literally
tire-
had that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would have been a
That was a
candidate for yesterday. Not yesterday, last week's
Yeah,
episode.
that was a crash that
I kind of forgot that
I
happened.
forgot about. I did. I forgot all about that.
Well, it was pretty minor, wasn't it?
The
Yeah.
damage to him was minor, and the bike was minor, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was doing like 15 mile an hour when it
Finally fell
finally
over.
slide out from under me, but the insult to injury was that it was like 1 a.m.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
and
That's super rough.
side of the road at dark.
Were you with Kenzie, or did she come?
Yeah, and she was behind me on her new Triumph, and in the process of seeing me slam the ground, she freaked out and got her bike over on the side of the road and stopped, and it was downhill. And so she shut her bike off and went to put the kickstand and get down and just laid the thing over. And
So-
just dropped it on the ground.
Did she pick it back up before she came to you, or did she just leave it there?
No, I was already up. I mean, I watched her do it. Like I was already up, and I had ripped my scooter up off the ground real quick and was pushing it to the side, and I looked over at her to see what she was doing. And that's when, as soon as I look over at her, that's when she just flopped over on the ground. And I was
Because
like,
you looked at her.
I was like, insult to injury. Not only do I slam my scooter on the ground, but then she drops her brand new bike on the ground, which was inevitable. It was going to happen.
Well, it didn't really get damaged, though, did it?
No, it was soft. I mean, she just slipped, or it rolled forward on her, and so she slipped trying to put the kickstand down, and so she just
And that's back
toppled it
before you had
over.
the modified kickstand, right?
Yes.
Yep.
What did you do to the kickstand?
Well,
The little toe
I
pick
cut
nub.
it down.
You know, the little spot you used to.
Oh, because you lowered it. So then if you have a standard height kickstand, then it's going to stand more upright.
The bike has a really tall kickstand anyways. Like, before we lowered it, when you would set it down on the ground, it did not prop over very far before unloading. So like if you got on the bike and you sat down on the seat real hard, it would push you over the other way. Like, I don't know what Triumph was thinking with that bike, but they didn't engineer the swing and the kickstand very well. And that was evident by the fact that there was a recall on those kickstands for braking.
Oh.
So, and it's the recall stand, the one that's fixed. But I took it off and had it cut down. I think I took like 1.5 inches out of it, and it's better, but it's still maybe a little on the tall side for what I would like, but it's fine now. It's good enough. And the problem too is that when you go to flick the stand down, it hits the ground. So you have to lean the bike the opposite direction, farther than you'd expect.
Well, that feels
flip
like
this
the
kickstand
Husqvarna
down.
701 to me.
Yeah,
Putting the kickstand down is like you almost have to like lean over, else it smacks the ground.
a lot of off-road bikes are that way because they have so much suspension travel.
Yep. So think of that exact phenomenon, but on that bike, factory height, before we even lowered it. So it was like it definitely had to have the stand modified.
And
there was
as a
no-
vertically challenged person.
There's realistically no reason she couldn't have rode it without it lowered. And we only lowered it
For comfort.
1/2 inch, maybe. Very little. It's the tallest low setting on the bars that we got for it. Or the link. It's like a linkage that you have to replace. So it's not much, but it was just enough to make her feel more comfortable because she hasn't discovered that you basically have to just figure out how to ride with one foot. Like, that's just how I am now. It's a realization I've come to that I'm just not going to ever have 2 feet down. So I just learned how to do everything with one foot.
Have you ever lowered anything before?
My first bike was lowered.
Was it lowered before you got it?
No, I lowered it.
Okay.
What was that again?
Suzuki Bandit. It was the 600 model, but it had the 750 Katana motor in it. Whatever that is worth. It's the same motor, but just bigger, I guess.
Still not much horsepower. They're very slow.
The 750 might have been 80.
Yeah, it is probably about that.
Because I think the
70,
600,
70 to 80 horsepower.
I think the 600 was maybe like 65.
Yep.
I don't know. It was fast. I thought it was fast. I don't think the gearing was right on it. I don't know if it was the result of the Katana motor conversion or if it was a result of somebody messing with the chain and sprockets on it. Because I took that bike down the highway and went as fast as the speedometer would say it would go, which claimed was 150. I really don't think that bike did 150.
High speed chase to Mexico.
Yeah.
The maximum horsepower is 77 PS. What's PS?
It's same thing as horsepower.
PSI.
PS and HP are basically identical.
I thought they were different.
But not KWs.
No, kilowatts is different. What is PS?
This one says, then I got another source here saying that the Suzuki 750 Katana, max power 72.9 kilowatts or 100 horsepower.
Is it a 4-cylinder?
Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder. And then if you measured at the rear wheel, it's 67.3 kilowatts or 90.2 horsepower. But whatever, it's...
Yeah, kilowatts and horsepower are different, but I thought
Newton
PS and
meters.
horsepowers were the same. Maybe they're not.
And I mean, whatever. Regardless, it's not a super,
much.
super powerful
No.
motorcycle.
No.
I think I rode your Bandit once.
You did, because we rode quite a few times down in Kentucky before I bought the Z900.
What was that ugly face for, Aaron? Was it really that bad?
I was just trying to remember if I'd rode it once. I was like, I swear I rode the thing once, but I can't remember. It was
I'm sure
not
you
a
did.
memorable motorcycle.
No.
It was like a maroonish red color, wasn't
It
it?
was maroon. Mm-hmm. It was the S model with
Crayon.
it had the bikini fairing. that Aaron detests.
I don't have to test bikini fairings.
Did that
I might have tested
SV650
that
you sent have
bikini
the
fairing.
bikini fairing on it?
The what?
The Facebook Marketplace
it
from the
didn't.
other day? That did not have one? Okay.
No. That, well,
It had a fly screen.
it
Was that with the
But
same
they
color
all
as
come with a fly
John's?
screen.
Yeah, that blue. I really like that blue color. There's a couple red ones on there too for about the same price, about $3,500.
Yeah, that's about right for
But
those.
they don't look as good. That blue one just looked exceptionally nice, which is why I posted it.
Bikini-less.
So when it comes to riding this challenge and riding all through winter and stuff, I've never really felt it like as a point of pride, look how tough I am riding through winter and stuff. I like the challenge though of when the weather really gets nasty, like trying to figure out how to survive that. I like that challenge, but I think I like adversity. Like I don't like riding a motorcycle to just be like super easy, because I think for me it's too mundane to do that. It's kind of like why I don't like doing long distance trips on necessarily bikes designed for long distance trips, because I know it's going to make it. It's going to be like, yeah, it's duh. Of course it made it. That's what the thing was made to do. But when I do it on like something stupid, like if I did a long distance trip on a scooter, I would be proud of that. And I would be like, I don't know, the adversity makes it fun for me. Like it's a challenge.
I mean, I think that if anybody deserves props for this challenge, it's me, because I don't even have a commute.
Yeah, you don't even.
So, like, if I'm going to do this, I literally have to physically decide, okay, I'm going to go out and ride somewhere and figure out how to make it 5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I have a counterpoint to that though, because I think
I can do it whenever I want.
You can do it whenever you want. You don't have to bring anything or have anything. You can just get on and go and then come back. So I almost feel like that's easier, because like for me to go to work, I have a giant lunchbox I have to carry with all my BS for work. If
Top
I have
box.
to replenish, and it goes in my top box. My coffee, I got a custom made holder that I made that goes in my top box for my coffee cup.
They have coffee at work, don't they?
That coffee's terrible.
Well, it wouldn't be work if there wasn't terrible coffee that everybody hated but drank anyway.
I just can't do it anymore. I can't do that.
That's like a
that
staple
stuff.
of office life.
It's awful. It's like bulk Maxwell House.
Hell yeah, that's what we had at Honda.
So,
Maxwell House.
It's a bag. It's a foil bag.
Pre-measured.
They're like round pods that you put into the drip machine.
Here's my advice. Use 2.
So we used to do that.
That's what we did.
They ration us now. We're only allowed so many bags a week and so many barrels of sugar a week.
Oh my
so
God.
inevitably,
Well, I think that's modern day communism.
as Thursday rolls around, the sugar's gone.
Can't you just bring in your own coffee maker
You could bring in your own beans
and your own beans
and filters.
and all that?
Yeah, then I have to bring all that in.
Dude, I did that before and people thought I was
here's
on
the
crack.
problem. Here's the problem is then everybody else is going to want my coffee.
Tell them no, it's your coffee.
But then they're like, well, I'll bring my own coffee. Can I just use your
Nope.
machine?
You can
Like-
bring your own machine.
I've done the French press thing before.
That would be too much fuss, I think.
Well, I did it, and then I got like 5 other coworkers to start doing it too. And then I think the lady in the cafeteria was a little bit upset because we'd use the tap on her coffee machine to fill up the French press. But good old Sharon, you could get the same thing as the person behind you. When she would ring it up, yours would be $3 more.
That water surcharge.
She never smiled either.
It's expensive to heat that water up.
Sharon of the HSO cafeteria, if you're listening, I know I got a good deal. I made her smile once, and then she gave us the leftover cookies at the end of the day.
She's so sweet.
Thanks, Sharon. She thought I had a southern accent.
That's not Southern. That's Toledo.
Toledo. You will do better.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I like the challenge for what it is. Like I enjoyed that when I did it last year, And that's why I wanted to spread it to other folks, because I got a kick out of it. And, so, you'll get the normal from about everyone. Like they're like shocked that you're still riding into the nasty weather. And they're like, why would you do that? And how do you do that? And like, they have all kinds of questions, but like, I didn't like that aspect of it. That honestly got a little bit old sometimes when people be like, oh my God, you're riding right now. But I just enjoyed it for
it's
myself.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? It's dangerous to ride in the winter.
I got less about it being dangerous and just more about it being like, oh my God, but it's so cold out. And honestly, like a lot of folks, like once you're equipped gear wise, the cold's
Which
not,
I'm not.
the cold's not like that much of a fuss. You can manage the cold.
Then you got to explain to them all of that every time. Every
I
time
know.
somebody questions me about riding, like, aren't you cold? I have to hold, I'll be wearing my suit as I'm going out to my scooter or something, and I'll hold the plug up.
Mm-hmm.
And they still look at me like they're dumbfounded. I'm like, I plug it in, it's heated. My jacket's heated, my gloves are heated, like it's fine.
They're like, doesn't that burn you?
I'm probably warmer than you going down the road.
And the only thing that you got to worry about is like honestly the actual winter weather, which I mean, I guess in winter it is winter weather, regardless if it's 70 degrees or 30 degrees. But like snowy mix, stuff like that. That's when you have to really start thinking about things and whether or not it's worth taking the risk. Where last year I did the challenge where every day that I went to work, I had to ride to work. And the only time I missed the challenge was when it snowed. That's when I messed up. And I went from I think I rode halfway through September, all of October, all of November, all of December, all of January. Or I'm sorry, 2 weeks into January. I was supposed to ride till February 1st.
And then it got cold.
I rode through the cold. 7 degrees out, all that, rode through it. But when it hit 2 weeks before February, it snowed. I woke up and I looked outside, out the window, and it was about 3 inches on the ground. And it was nice fluffy snow. The roads were still covered because it had just happened. And I remember tossing around the idea, like, if I could just make it out of the neighborhood, I bet the main roads are cleared by now. That's what I was thinking, seriously. And I was really contemplating getting on the bike and just getting to the end of the neighborhood, turning out onto a main road. But at the last second decision, I was like, nah, screw it. It's not worth the risk. Because last thing I want is, if I do have to go out on the main roads that are snow covered, is some car trying to come to a stop and sliding into me. That's what I worry about. So I chose to drive, and I was extremely glad that I did, because not only was my neighborhood roads covered, the main roads outside of my neighborhoods were covered. The highway 129 was covered all the way until I got to I-75. So like the first 10 miles of the commute would have been all snow covered. It would have taken me 5 hours. So I was really, really glad I drove.
Well, that's where the 20 days a month gets you, because it's highly unlikely we're going to have more than 10 days of consistent impacted weather that you wouldn't be able to ride in safely.
And I chose 20 days specifically to give us that leeway. And there's also things like I don't ride on the weekends really, just because, I mean, it's not like a glorious ride to ride when it's cold like this. It's more a commute than anything else. It's more utility than anything else. It's not so much pleasure. But
I only ride to be glorious.
well,
Let's
you
make
are the
that
glory.
clear.
You have the motor fist.
Casual
See, you were talking
fisting.
about you didn't have the appropriate gear.
Well,
You
I don't
literally
have
own a motor fist.
I don't have plug-in gear.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have heat generating apparel.
And heated gear is next level. It really is. Like it just takes that whole deal to that level where it's like, not only is this it's not only doable, it's fun, it's pleasant, it's nice to be outside when you have the heated gear. The only thing you have to worry about is inclement weather. You know, you get the threat of ice. So if there's any moisture out and it's cold, that's when you reconsider and you say, well, should I really ride? There could be ice out. And then if it snows, you know the snow's out. So that's when it's going to be tough. Where my challenge last year, I only did the ride to work thing. It committed me to riding even in the inclement weather. And I rode home once in an ice storm, and it was ice covered roads. And I rode through it. Luckily, it was only the first 2 miles of the journey. And then it was like a rain cloud that passed over that was frozen rain. And the entire parking lot at work was covered. The roads going out of work were covered for the first 2 miles. But then once I got away from it, that rain cloud had passed over, and it wasn't any further north of that. And, you know, my commute's all north from work. So once I got up north of where the ice was, then I was fine. It was all dry roads up that way. But that was pretty sketchy leaving that night. Like I was a little bit weirded out by it.
Well, and my comment regarding gear for cold weather. So like today, I think it was 53 or
mid-50s.
4. I really didn't do anything special other than I wore my insulated gloves. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing I would wear in the summer, just with different gloves. And that was what I closed the brow vents and the chin vent on my helmet, and that was it. And I wasn't cold.
No, this kind of temperature is that in between temperature, where it's like close your vents, throw a base layer in, and you'll be happy.
Well, I didn't even do that.
Oh, you didn't keep the liner in your jacket or anything?
Oh, no, I wore my suit.
Your leathers? Really?
Well, if I'm just going to go out for a ride and not stop anywhere, it's easier to insert myself there.
I can't stand
More
putting on
power
my
to
suit.
you. It's way harder to get into a suit.
Oh, no. Well,
for me at least.
I don't like the whole pants with a waist because I can never get the fit right. So the one piece feels so much better.
Do you zip together your pants and jacket every time?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never zipped together my pants and jacket.
Well, I only can zip the pants to the jacket of the set that I have when I wear those Alpine Stars leather pants, and I don't like those pants. So I would rather just wear riding jeans with the leather jacket.
The black
Or
Benese
jeans.
set,
No.
is it good for cold?
I haven't used that in the cold yet. I only used that for our off-road scoot, which I would say arguably that was probably too warm for that. If that's the only real...
Well, that's a good indicator
Yeah.
that it's good for winter, because I had my heated gear on for that trip, and for 3/4 of the ride,
You were
I did
burning
not
up.
have the heat on, wasn't plugged in, and I was burning. Like the end of the day, I was sweating. Like it was so bad, but I didn't want to open it up or take it off because it's really annoying to take the liner out of that the way I have it
I'm trying to
inserted.
think. I don't think I took the thermal liner out at all.
Yeah.
Or
And if it
maybe
has
I-
a thermal liner, then it's definitely a winter set.
Yeah, it's I believe it's the D-Dry Tempest. So it's not like the Gore-Tex brand. It's their own like internal
Yeah,
Gore-Tex
proprietary.
brand, which
Same
of course,
thing. There's
if you
nothing
watch
magical
what was it, the
happening.
Fort 9 Gore-Tex versus normal, I was like, okay, I'll go with off-brand. It was like $300 or $400 cheaper.
Yeah.
So I haven't worn. That would be like, I would say, next step in my cold weather. So like I could wear my suit in 50 degrees and be fine. And then I have that jacket, the scooter jacket, so-called, which I think that one's technically considered an enduro jacket because the sleeves zip off.
Yeah.
But that has more insulation than like my leather jacket if I just wanted to wear a jacket. But then I think that once it gets colder, then I'll try out the D-Dry, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would zip that together.
Is it all the way around, or is it just the back?
I think it's like the 3/4 of the way.
This weather's been like really mild, and honestly, like straight up, I hate this weather, this in-between weather where it's like too cool out to really use your summer gear, too hot out to use your winter gear. It's this weird in-between where like I like it. Like if it's going to be cold so I can use all my heated gear, plug in, crank the heat up, and I'm comfy and I'm happy. Or be hot and then I can tear all the liners out and open up all the vents and be comfortable that way. But when it's this weird in-between crap, it's like I have to bring all the gear with me all the time. I hate when it's like that. I'm like, be hot or be cold. Don't be both at the same time.
Hopefully there's not a lot of rain in the forecast and like ice rain or anything goofy like that to get.
Yeah, that's going to be the real, but you're right. Like the way the rules are laid out this time, it just has to be 20 days. So if you have to skip a day for whatever reason, like me, I'm not really riding on the weekends. Well, if I skip a day during the week because of winter weather, I could just make it up on the weekend by riding my one wheel around or something.
You have an e-mobility device.
Yep.
And I think that's good. So I've been trying to ride every day, and I think I've only missed 2 days maybe.
I think you're winning on total number of days currently.
I think it was last week I think was one day when we came here. And the other day I think was a rain day. It might have been a Sunday or something like that. And so
Sunday when we came here was a rain day.
Yeah. So I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 days that I haven't. And like, even though I don't need the days, I'm not worried about the days for this month. It's just like trying to make it a habit so that it's less difficult to do and just so I can stockpile the days. So like if I need to at the end of the month and it's just going to be really ugly at the end of December, I can just write the rest of the month off if I have to.
Well, I was going to say, when I was doing the maths, I think that since I'm going home for Thanksgiving, I don't think I'll ride to Toledo, but maybe. I basically think I have to ride every day for the rest of the month, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 days, because I've missed 3 days because of work travel.
Yep.
Should have got them sneakers out.
But December is going to be more difficult because I'm going to be gone for like a week and a half. And then Christmas holiday.
Yep. And then Christmas throws a wrench in there.
Yeah, December's going to be difficult. I'm going to have to do some of the alternatives.
The challenge doesn't end just because you decided to take a vacation.
Oh, I know. But like, I don't have an e-mobility device.
Well, you're going to have to swim it up.
I'm going to have to go to Walmart and steal one of the scooters. Does that count?
Hey, it counts. In my book, it counts.
Well, but the one thing is I'm going to have to be sneaky about it, because you do know that in the Madisonville Walmart's parking lot, there is also a Fairfax Police Department outpost.
Oh, yeah, you definitely better be careful.
You should go to there and just ask them if you can borrow one of their
Cop Segways?
cop segways. Yeah.
Do they have those, or do I have to go to UC to get that? Because I did ride one of those when I was at UC, and it was glorious.
However you make it happen is fine by me.
Do Segways count as an e-mobility device?
Yes, they do. They are a personal mobility device.
If you want, I have my two-wheeled scooter.
Oh, yeah,
If
you
you
have a
wanna-
two-wheeled scooter, too.
Yeah, I
If
did.
you want to borrow it, I'll let you borrow it.
That'll get it done.
Oh, yes.
Because we don't use it. It's just sitting at the house.
Now, speaking of scooters, though, I watched like a skate park episode of Seaboys TV, and they brought in a bunch of kids on scooters and skateboards and BMX bikes. I was a scooter kid, just so you know.
I was doing the flip tricks on the
I was
scoot?
grinding on every single curb in the neighborhood to where like one side under the scooter was completely ground down. I could not be tamed.
You were
That
the
I was
troublemakers.
ungovernable.
that fits. It really does. That answers a lot of questions.
I mean, I couldn't do any real tricks with scooters, but I did delinquent things with that scooter.
Yeah, but I guess you were kind of born during that time. My youngest brother had one of those Razor scooters, but they were before my time. By the time they came out, I was already like a grown teenager, like that wasn't.
Orange wheels, orange grips.
And I've ridden a Razor scooter before, like my little brothers. I would, whatever, but just around like my parents' driveway. That was about it. And I was already grown and moved out of the house.
Oh, yeah, and then you could, like, stop it and pick up the back and then spin it around 360, and half the times you'd get yourself right in the shin.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
magical.
They were always too much work to push some things around. But
Well, we couldn't have electric ones because then our parents said we needed to wear helmets, and I wasn't about to do that.
we couldn't. I grew up off of a 2-lane road and with plenty of, like, field and woods and stuff. So I had mountain bikes. And that's what we rode, because we rode in the grass most of the time and dirt. We didn't really ride on the road. At least I didn't.
But now you would go to your friend's house, and then your bike, it would just get thrown in the front lawn.
Oh, yeah.
No
Yeah.
kickstands, none of that. Just in the lawn.
Well, good luck putting a kickstand down on something
Half the
like
time
that.
you would just easy offload it and just like get off and let it roll into the grass.
Yeah.
No, not I.
You're old.
Well, I had fancy BMX bikes.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Did you do BMX things with those BMX bikes?
Yes, I did.
This tracks.
Yep, that's how I would save my money and spend my money, was to buy the next BMX bike. I only had two. I had a Mongoose Expert 1995 model.
They have years to them.
Yes, and I had a Specialized Fat Boy, a 97 model. The Mongoose, when I got my Fat Boy, the Mongoose got handed down to my little brother, which I was not happy about.
Your big little brother.
Yeah, my big little brother, Cody. I wasn't happy about that. My 95 Mongoose, I scrapped and saved for 2 years to buy that thing. It cost me $200 when I was 10 years old.
That's like $10,000 today.
It might as well be.
In adult monies compared to a
And
kid.
when we went to buy it, it was on my birthday. My mom took me up to Montgomery Cyclery to buy the thing, and I'd saved the money myself. It was mostly like a little bit of allowance money, a little bit of birthday and Christmas money for 2 years. And I had the $200 because, it was $199. So I that's what I saved. I got
You
all
didn't
of
save
it.
enough for tax.
I did not save tax. I didn't know tax was a thing.
Oh, man, he got a rude awakening.
Ruh-roh.
When they rung it up and the tax got applied, my heart sank, dude. Like, I thought, like, my world just crumbled, right? Like, but my mom was really nice about it, and she said, "I'll cover the tax."
Oh, God bless her soul.
It was about $20. But oh, and she not only did she cover the tax, she bought a helmet for me.
Oh, she loves you.
I did not want the helmet.
Well, of course
That
not.
was not acceptable. I never wore it.
We didn't want to embrace that until we became old.
But
But I still wouldn't get on a bike with a helmet, to be clear.
I probably wouldn't either. A bicycle? Yeah.
Yes, a bicycle, to clarify.
And then when I got my Fat Boy, my dad he goes, "Okay, your little brother can have your Mongoose now." And I was like, "He didn't pay for it. You didn't pay for it. I paid for it. That's my Mongoose." And I thought I was going to have two bikes. No, my dad made me give my Mongoose to my little brother, and he got it stolen. That bike was like, that was it for me. Like, it was purple and had green writing on it. Oh, it was so good looking too. Such a good looking bike.
Because he didn't earn it. He
And-
didn't appreciate it
Oh,
because
I
he didn't earn
loved
it.
that bike so much. And Cody got it stolen. I was so pissed. The Fat Boy, I paid $300 for that one. I upgraded, man. But that one, I bought it. I got my head injury like in February.
Unrelated to bicycling.
Yeah, unrelated to
or-
bicycling. I got my head injury in like February when I was 12. Oh, that's what it was. I was 12 turning 13. I wasn't 12 when I got it. I was 12 turning 13. I got it on my 13th birthday. And I'd saved up $300. But then
Plus tax?
oh yeah, I had all that covered. And
You learned.
He learned, yeah.
the but I got my head injury, and my head injury was serious. And basically the doctors told my parents I was no longer allowed to play sports. Like, no more sports. That's done. That's over. The doctor said he wanted me wearing a helmet basically for anything above and beyond walking. And he was like serious. He's like, any bump on that head, like, it's over. It's done. So a couple months later, my birthday's in April. It's my birthday, and I was getting that freaking bicycle. Like, I'm paying for it, damn it. Like, that's my bicycle. And my dad drives me up to Montgomery Cyclery. We buy the bike, and I can't ride this thing. I wasn't allowed to do anything for 6 months. This is what the doctor ordered. And we're driving this thing home in my dad's Toyota 4Runner. And we get there was this convenience store near the house. It was 2-3 miles away from the house. We stopped there so my dad could get some scratch offs. It was called the Pony Keg, is what the place was called. So
In Madisonville?
No, it's in Green Hills. So I stopped by a Pony Keg. He gets some scratch offs, and when he gets back in the car, I worked up the nerve and I said, "Dad, can I ride my bike home?" There's like a bike path that went to our house, so you didn't have to ride on the street or anything. And because it was my birthday, even though my head injury, even though I still had like swollen head and stuff like that, all my staples and all my stitches were out, but my head was still all oblong shaped, and freaking my hair was still shaved back and stuff. And my dad goes, "You can ride it home. You have to take the bike path. And I swear to God, if you do one wheelie, I'm taking it back." And I was like, okay. So I rode it home, and my dad drove home, and I drove it. I rode it respectfully. I didn't wheelie.
No
I didn't jump.
wheelies?
No, I didn't do anything crazy. I just wanted to try out my new bicycle, And I was already having a hard time dealing with life because I had this horrible head injury, and I was pretty depressed. So my dad let me do that, and it brought my spirits up. So I was like, that was cool. But that bicycle, I ended up selling it after I was 16, because you get a car when you're 16 and you forget about all that stuff. It was a dumb move. I wish I would have kept it. It's the rarest of the Specialized Fat Boys. A 1997 Fat Boy in orange is like the rarest one. And that's the one I have. And today they're worth over $1,000. And I was like, I kind of wish I would have kept it, and not to sell. $1,000 in the grand scheme is not that much money, but it would have been a cool thing to have.
It's got sentimental value.
Yeah, sentimental value and all that. So,
And you could shred through the pits on that.
So when I was in my 20s, however long ago that was, 25, 26, 27, sometime in there, probably about 25, I was browsing through Craigslist, and lo and behold, a Specialized Fat Boy, but it was a 1998 model, which was red with this bar pad that was on it, and the bar pad was like black and white cow colored. It was awesome. And the seat had flames on it. It came up for sale on Craigslist. $75. Come get it. It was all original, but in a little bit.
Why didn't you go get it?
I did.
Okay.
It's out in my shop right now. I've had that sucker.
Is it functional?
Yeah, you can go ride it right now. It's all original. Tires, grips, everything. It's completely original. And it could be in a better aesthetic shape, but it's all fully functional. It's all there. I used to have it hanging on the wall, but now it's just kind of tucked in behind stuff. I don't know. Like, stuff like that's cool, man. Like, I like the nostalgia, and it's that bike's worth $600 or $700 right now, and it's not worth selling to me. I'd rather just keep it hanging on the wall.
So now back to the question about the scooter. Do you think it would fit in a duffel bag to take to Florida?
No, for sure not.
You don't think so?
They won't let you fly with them either.
Yeah.
Lithium batteries.
Size. Yeah, the same problem with one wheels, because I would take mine one wheel to like vacation or something.
Yours is the only one
But-
wheel that could fly.
Can it?
Yeah, the original Pint can fly because the battery's small enough. But it's some weird thing, like, I don't think you can check it. You have to carry
it on.
You have to have it as a carry-on.
And that would be fine. I would be really concerned with having to deal with the hassle of having to explain that every single
Yeah,
time.
I wouldn't want to deal with it. I just,
Like,
if you're going to be in Florida, there has to be about 1 billion
I
scooter
think-
rentals.
I think so.
So you just find
or
a scooter
bicycle,
rental.
just a pedal bike, even if you wanted to do that. Or this, I guarantee there's
Or
an,
I could
like
just
you could get an
Baywatch
e-assist one.
run down the beach.
Yeah, you could Baywatch run. That's fine.
You could swim.
As long as you have a
That's your-
cap on. Bring
Yep.
your cap.
Oh, I will.
Okay. Yeah, that's
It's gonna
how
be
you,
cold though.
that's how you can handle your time in Florida. I'm about to have some time in Florida. I'm gonna be spending it down there. I was just gonna bring my one wheel with me because we're driving.
Are you gonna take the camper too?
No, I'm staying at my dad's house. But I have to go pick up a bike for Tuna.
Oh, down there.
Yeah. Did you hear Tuna talking about his plan?
I heard bits and pieces.
I didn't hear the whole thing.
So he got done racing the Wreckers to Checkers, and overall they had a good time, but it went about as exactly as I expected. They DNF'd out of a bunch of races, and he also, or not DNF'd. He
Just
could
mechanical.
not even
couldn't race?
not even mechanical. He was mechanically limited because like he didn't have the right gearing, he didn't have whatever, and he wasn't competitive because of it. And I think it's just because he went in underprepared.
Didn't know what he.
Didn't have
Like,
he
what
didn't
to
have any
expect or what he
development
needed.
time, like no development time on that thing. And Moto America is pretty serious. Like that's really pro level racing.
Was this the Triumph?
Yeah, this is a Triumph. Not that he isn't a fast dude. He should be about mid pack. He just didn't have the equipment. And I thought it was funny. He was trying to race. I don't know the name of the class, if it's super stock or if it's 600s is what it is. But
Clapped out jigsters.
well, not really. Everybody else is on like really nice machines. He's the one on clapped out stuff, and that's Tuna style. That's Tuna fashion. But yeah, just underprepared stuff, and couldn't quite compete with the other folks out there. And then a lot of for a few of the races, he just straight up didn't make the show because you have to be within so many seconds of the lead rider to be able to qualify, and he was just off pace. So I think that's what ended up happening with him. But after the season was over, he decided to go to a hooligans race. I don't think he raced it. I think he was just there in the paddock, and he was supporting someone that was racing it, and he had a blast, and he saw what the hooligans were all about, and he saw all the rules involved with the hooligans, and he came up with this idea. He's building 5 or 6 SV1000s for the hooligans race. SV1000s are like not a competitive bike. And he knows they're not competitive, and that's fine. But the reason he's building so many is he's gonna race one. Someone else he knows is gonna race one, and the others will be available for lease. He was telling me like in Wira, they race Groms at like the full size tracks.
I heard that part of the
Yeah, I
story, and
remember
it sounded
hearing
like
that.
fun.
And so you're out there on a Grom on the full size track. Like imagine Lupin Jennings on a Grom.
That'd be slow.
It'd be very, very slow. But they do like 3 laps or something like that. It's not a huge race.
3 years later, they finish.
But you win prize money for that race, and there's a dude out there leasing bikes. So you can just like show up, lease a bike for like $200 and have the potential of actually winning money. And I was like, dude, I'm down to do a Grom race right now. I think Tuna's going to do the same thing with these SV1000s. And he said race license wise for hooligans race, you do not need a race license, a prior race license. You don't need a Moto America card. He goes in, what's cool about it is when you do, like, you have to get like it's almost like a provisional license, he said. But like basically you just like sign up and then boom, there you go. And they give you a Moto America card. And once you have your Moto America card, it's good for one season. You can go to any Moto America race and just like get in for free because you're officially a racer. So you get to like go full access, all the paddocks, into the pits, everything, like because you're a racer. So
Interesting.
You can just go to any Moto America race and just like walk in, like no big deal. Just flash your card. You get anywhere you want. I was like, that's kind of cool. But so anybody can just sign up. And he goes, there's such a massive gap in skill in that race on that grid. It makes it chaos. There's dudes out there that are fast. Like my coach from Yamaha Champ School, Cody Wyman, he races in it and he's fast. And then there's like these like real slow back markers that are on literal Harley Softails. They're racing in it, which is pretty hilarious. So
Watch out for the Clibbins.
SV1000s ought to be able to beat the Harley Softail bikes, but they're not going to compete with like the full factory Indian and the full factory KTMs. Like,
Could we get a scooter into the super hooligan class?
I don't know if there's a big enough scooter to be allowed. Like
a Bergman 650?
we'd have to look at the rules, but like most of the bikes there are. It's not so much engine size; it's horsepower.
Italjet Dragster
And they're like-
559.
I don't know if they have any rules on minimum. Well, I know there's a minimum lap time. You have to be within, I think he said 25% of the lead lap time. And to be able to qualify for the race, to make the show. Where he said normal Moto America rules is tighter than that. You have to be within like 10 or 15% of the lead lap to make the show.
So it really would depend on the track. Because I would think that if you have a high-speed track, you probably couldn't get a scooter that could do that.
Yeah, you just flat out couldn't make the show. And the only tracks they run at are high speed tracks because it's Moto America. They don't go to like Jennings and stuff like that. They go to Road Atlanta. They go to Road America up in Wisconsin. They go to the one out there in Utah that's real Miller Motorsports. It's not called that anymore. It's called something else. But I always know it as Miller.
Did their sponsorship with Miller Lite run out?
No, they got bought out by some big Chinese firm. But it's
Kimco?
It's a super. No, that's a Taiwanese.
Well, depending on who you ask.
The Utah place is really, really nice, but they run out at Laguna, and we'll see how long. And what's the one?
Think about a scooter at
Coda.
Laguna Seca.
Oh, glorious,
Absolutely glorious.
glorious! But yeah, you wouldn't be able.
Well,
to
could we get into
times.
the Grom class?
For Wera? No, it's Grom spec. It's a spec class.
Oh.
So yeah, only.
Well, don't they
Groms.
have a scooter equivalent Grom?
No,
No.
no.
Well, they need one. Honda.
There is the
Navi?
Navi.
That's not Grom.
That's not a
equivalent.
scooter, though.
It
Is it a
is?
scooter?
It's twist and go.
It's a Grom.
Well, so is that how we determine a scooter, is if it's twist and go or not?
So scooter is traditionally defined as step through, twist and go, and that usually is what makes it a scooter. But also, a scooter when you look at it.
Correct.
Like you just know that, hey, that's a scooter. But because the step through part is a little bit, up for interpretation.
Because yours is borderline scooter.
Because mine is not a traditional step through, and neither is like the X Max, the BMW C400, Silverwing, Bergman, like all those kind of big Bergman.
Well, it's the fuel tank area, like where on a traditional motorcycle you have the fuel tank and the engine forward of you. A scooter, the engine is behind you.
And the gas tank is
And
behind
the gas
you.
tank is typically somewhere else. It's not all the fuel isn't there on top like a motorcycle's gas tank. It's somewhere else. His happens to be just on the floor in front of him. Mine is my seat.
Yeah.
Yours is
Same.
same thing.
Under seat, yeah. And then typically, scooters are defined with under-seat storage, but not all scooters have under-seat storage. Like
Mine does
Yep.
not have much under.
yours is
storage
limited.
At all.
Yours
Mine
is
is none.
Yours is absolutely none. Or mine's got a ton.
And then it's usually CVT.
Yeah,
drivetrain.
CVT trans. That's why I mean, twist and go. But
They're not always twist and go though. The older
like Vespas.
Vespas.
I
were
want
not.
the
They had
grip
gears.
shift.
Yeah, grip shift Vespa from like the 60s and 70s. Like
It'd be cool to have.
so
one
there's
of
all
those.
kinds of like, that's you can't really define a scooter. Oh, it has these features and that makes it a scooter. No, not really. Like you'll just know a scooter when you see it.
So how do we come up with a race class for scooters?
Over in Europe, they have them. They race the hell out of Vespas, and it's wild. Those things are fast.
I'm gonna have to Google this.
Isn't there an off road?
Yeah, they do an
thing
they do
too?
an off road Vespa too. It's
That
highly
thing's
modified.
awesome. Yeah.
And they rip and they do all the motocross jumps and everything.
Yeah.
Oh hell yes!
It's sweet.
I want to take our scooters to like a motocross track
We can. Aspen has one.
and do jumps and shit.
There's one down in Harrison.
No, we're not going to the Doug Dunaway. No one wants to go there.
I just think we need to do more delinquent shit with scooters. But now that we're attached to our scooters, we need like trash scooters.
Now we got to buy more scooters.
Yeah, we need cheaper and trashier scooters. Or I mean, Travis, if you want to upgrade your scooter, but I think you have an attachment to this one.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know
been-
why you guys have gotten so attached to them old junk scooters.
Yeah, you're very attached to the scooter.
It's stupid, but gosh, it doesn't work.
I mean, what
good.
you paid $400 for, and you've been through a lot with it.
What's amazing about scooters when you start living life riding scooters, it's way more capable than you ever thought. Like it's strangely good at way more things. Like sure, it doesn't go real fast in the grand scheme of things,
Speak for yourself.
but what they can do, like we ride them like sport bikes. They shouldn't be able to do that.
I mean, I think the reason why I like mine so much is because it's a really nice scooter, and it was only $1,400. Like,
And so, you know what I do?
it's so capable.
This is what's crazy, right? On my way to work, which, my ride to work, 50 miles, I get to see a lot.
It's 48 per the mileage list.
It depends on which route I take. Because the other day it was 110. Because I went around 275.
471 bridge is
Oh, yeah, 'cause it
closed
burned down.
the one way.
But on my way in, sometimes or actually a lot of times when I go to work, I take basically Winton Road
Familiar.
all the way down. But sometimes I get onto the highway right at Paddock. Sometimes I take it all the way down to to Hopple, and sometimes I take it all the way to Liberty. I don't really cross the Wade Clay Bailey Bridge anymore. I used to
Which
do that
one
all
is
the time.
that?
It's the bridge right next to the train track bridge, right next to I-75 bridge, and it dumps you into Covington.
That's not the one that has the metal grating, is it?
No, the Wade Clay doesn't have that metal grating. But when I go down Winton, of course, I get to see folks who are walking and stuff like that. And there's bus stops along the way, and I'm riding my scoot, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, there's people waiting for the bus. Why don't they just buy a scooter? Like seriously, like you don't have to buy a brand new scooter for $5,000 or $6,000, even though that is really affordable. But if you don't have $5,000 or $6,000 and you don't have the credit to get a loan for $5,000 or $6,000, you got to be able to save up $1,000 and get a decent scooter. Like you have to be able to save up $1,000. And think about it. Like, would you be willing, Nick, to ride your scooter to Florida from Cincinnati?
I mean, it would make it.
Would you be willing to do that?
We're gonna do it.
Yeah. And Travis, would you ride your scooter from here to Utah?
I would do it, but it would not do it quickly.
You would prefer something else.
That would be a slow ride.
Yeah, but
But it would do it.
but would it also? I mean,
I would do it with a group.
It commutes to work, and we can ride it on the weekends like sport bikes. We've taken them off road. We've taken them on trips to the mountains.
We need to do an actual scooter trip to the
We
mountains.
do need to do that
'cause
really
I was
badly.
not here for that.
Well, that and we just, I mean, he and I just did the one day, and it was awesome. But we did.
We need Killboy photos on scooters.
But the hurricanes kind of put a wrench in things, and then we just couldn't coordinate a time. It was hard to coordinate a time. But like these scooters are capable of all that. Why aren't people why are they still wanting to wait for the bus? I'm like, you can
Wasn't the bus
scoot.
free?
It's not.
No,
free.
hell no, it's not free.
It's actually
$29 a month.
probably somewhere around there. It's not like super cheap, but it's not super expensive either. It's kind of in I would say that they would spend the same amount of money in fuel on a scooter.
Like I bring all this up, and you can have arguments against it, but go to Europe. What do you see people doing?
Tons of scooters.
Tons of scooters. Do you see them riding buses? No. They either scoot or they're riding trains. That's like how you get around in Europe. Scooters and trains.
Or they're walking.
I think they can walk, but who wants to do that?
And I mean, also, it's Europe. Don't they teleport?
I don't know. They do something stupid. They have like
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said
free sex changes for
what do people
Muslims
in
or
Europe
something. I don't know
do?
what they do.
I was thinking of what type of witty thing could I say about what people in Europe do? And I mean, the only thing I'm thinking of now is, well, they do take 6 weeks off every summer.
They're also never stepped foot on the moon like America, so
Well, I mean, being over there is like walking on the moon.
but like they don't have too much pride to get on a scooter. I think Americans look down on scooting because they're like, oh, that's silly or
Well,
whatever.
no, they're like, oh, that guy got a DUI, so that's why they have a scooter.
No,
Which is wrong, by the way. You need a full-on license to ride a scooter. Most places.
Not in Kentucky.
That is incorrect anymore.
Really?
Kentucky
They
changed
changed it?
Yeah, so
No more Dewey scooters?
no more DUI scooters in Kentucky.
Ooh, wow.
49cc scooter doesn't matter. You got to plate that thing. You got to have a license.
Man, where's the riots?
No, I don't know.
No, they just all bought e-bikes for $2,000.
That's
that
what they're
the-
all going to get.
is that
go
the new
do.
one?
They're
That's
all
the
going to
new
go out.
Dewey
Dewey
bike.
scooter,
Yeah,
e-bikes.
E-bikes and electric personal mobility. That's going to be the.
What about
the big
hover
DUIs.
rounds?
I do see those go up and down
I
the
wish
bridge all the time down at work.
I really,
Hover round?
they're out there on the rascal scooter.
Doing wheelies. Hell yeah.
I wish I would have known about scooters earlier. Seriously, like I really do, because like in my early 20s, fresh out of college, broke as hell, and I couldn't afford a motorcycle. I still wanted a motorcycle. I didn't know it, but I could have afforded a scooter. But back then,
Yeah, but scooters weren't cool.
they weren't cool, and I just didn't know that they are actually cool and actually fun, and they ride as well as they do. And obviously, you see like scooters from back then. Doesn't matter; they were still good. Your 1980 something scooter, I've seen it go fast, so I know that it's capable of it.
It might have had some modern upgrades on it, though.
Nothing that's like
Well, the internals are
Groundbreaking.
still the same for the most. Engine
suspension.
internals and
The suspension has been redone on it. It's got a new suspension on
well,
it.
that
Upgraded
that
suspension.
doesn't make it go faster.
It made it go
Pace-wise,
faster
corners.
around a corner.
yeah.
Well, that.
It was pretty pogoey, but the front suspension is still the same.
It's all still
unchanged.
it's just new. Like you got
It's
new
just-
shock. in
Yeah,
there,
new
whatever.
China shocks on it, which I argue are just as bad as the original shocks are now. probably.
Chinesium.
I don't think they held up very well.
Well, it's not like
but-
you can go down to the Honda dealer and just order up a new set of shocks.
No,
for
you
that thing,
can't.
because
You might be able to.
it's 40 years old. I doubt they have support for it
No, I've looked.
Well, we would do 20-year service on at least
on cars.
cars.
Yeah, and
which
Power
was
Sports is like 10
It's
years.
like 10
and
yeah,
it's
which
gone.
was twice what any other OEMs would do. They would only maintain 10 years.
Yeah, most OEMs do 10 years. That's pretty typical.
But
I've looked. There are no new old stock factory stuff for that bike. You can get some things for more popular bikes, like real, like full-size motorcycle parts, but scooters, no. Scooters was like 3 to 5 years, and then they just like threw all that stuff away. Because that's basically what everybody did with the scooters too, is that they just threw them away when they were done.
You gotta remember, scooters in America have always been like not a mainstream thing. So there's actually very few of them. Like any certain model of scooter, there's very few of in the United States. So like if you want to try to find that X-Max, they might have sold a few hundred in the United States. They really don't sell many.
Like how many gold people 300 GTIs are out there?
Probably not many.
Because I mean, when I was looking for scoots, it was like I wanted 250 plus, and I was like, well, the 300 GTI would be amazing, but I don't expect to find one. So when I found one, I was like, oh, this guy better not know what he has. And guess what? He didn't. But I think I had only seen one other one for sale, and it was in Miami. And then I guess I did see one that was up for sale in Cleveland. They might have $4,200
Oh my
for
God.
it. It had like 800 miles, but I'm like, still, it's a 12-year-old scooter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it... I would rather have the one that I have that had like 9,000 miles, because guess what? That means it didn't sit around.
It didn't sit around, and there's just no way I'd want to pay that much money for a used 12-year-old Kimco.
No.
That's what I always run into with these things. Like I see one guy trying to sell a Honda. It's a 2015 Honda. It's a 300. I don't remember the model designation, like NSF 300 or something.
Oh, NSS is the technical designation. The
Neutral safety switch 300.
what was it called? The Reflex was the 250.
This is a 300.
I can't remember the name.
It looks like what you'd think a maxi scooter would look like. I mean, it looks just like that, and it's very Wave Runner-y looking. But they're asking like $4,500 for it, and I'm like, "What are you smoking, dude?"
Nice price or crack pipe?
It's a freaking 10-year-old scooter. I don't care that it's a Honda. It's not worth much more than about $2,000. Because for $4,500, I can go buy a nearly new X-Max, a nearly new C400 GT. Why would I waste my time with a 10-year-old Honda? So that's why when you bring up like the dude was selling it for whatever he was selling it for, like crack.
I see that a lot with
$4,200.
the Helix and my bike. There's quite a few in the very small selection of Facebook and Marketplace and Craigslist listings that are scooters of this type, old scooters. Most of them are Hondas, and most of them are Helixes or my bike, the Elite 250. There's actually a lot. They're all mostly broken and busted.
Yep.
Old, ragged out. I mean, you would expect that for a 40-year-old scooter. There's a couple of them that I've seen over the ages that have been exceptional examples, and they want like $3,000 for them.
And to be fair, I can see why they want that much money for it. You got a 40-year-old thing, and it's in really great shape. I can see wanting some money for it, but bearing in mind, you have to find that right person that cares about that thing, because to everybody else, it's just a 40-year-old turd scooter.
Yeah, a sucker like me.
But like you'll find that one guy that's like, oh, I like this particular model of scooter, and this is a really nice example of it. Mm-hmm. So you'll find that. But as I pass the person waiting for the bus stop, and I'm like, dude, you could just get a scooter, and then you're not limited to wherever the bus goes. You can go anywhere you want on this earth, and it'll carry you. It'll carry all your stuff. It'll do it great, no questions asked. It'll get 1 billion miles to the gallon. Like it just makes all kinds of sense to me as a very practical vehicle. It works really, really well, and it happens to be really fun. I'd say anybody could find a reasonable scooter. 1,000 might be that might be a little
Cutting it close, yeah.
too low. But 1,500, I'd
Yeah.
say you could get a decent scooter for
I think so.
1,500. And
You can buy if $1,000 was your absolute limit, you can buy like a pre-imported like 150cc Chinese scooter.
You can buy them.
Get them for $1,000.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Done
Yeah,
out the
and
door, crated. $1,000.
You don't need a high displacement scooter.
No.
The majority of people are never going to even contemplate taking that on the highway.
Well, and if
150
they're going on a
cc's.
bus, if they're riding a bus, like a bus doesn't go anywhere that
No.
a scooter isn't going to be able
Oh,
to
exactly.
make it to.
Yeah,
Like,
a bus is going to take you
so
everywhere.
if
a
they're
scooter
already
goes.
taking a bus, there's no reason. The only my only excuse is that I know a couple of those people that are bus users.
Are they too large to ride a scooter?
No, but I don't know that I would trust them to operate a motor vehicle.
Oh, so you're saying they ride the bus because they're always under the influence of something?
These individuals are not. That's another possibility. That's another valid possibility. But they just like
The wherewithal is not there.
yes, they just do not have the mental fortitude to operate a motor vehicle responsibly. And they also probably don't, I think at least the two of the examples don't have licenses and don't have like.
But I'd say that's more exception than rule, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say most of the folks that I see when I pass them sitting waiting for the bus, I would say most of those folks are probably competent enough to ride a motorcycle reasonably, and especially a scooter that's twist and go, no gears. So I'd say they could probably do it. And the other thing I'd bring up is, $1,500 budget for a scooter, and then reasonably speaking, this is quite a large budget, and you wouldn't have to do it day one buying the scooter, but like a $500 budget for gear that would be a well-rounded gear set that could handle most weather. And you could buy like a textile jacket. I would recommend textile pants for winter, but it's not necessary for summer. So if you get the scooter in summer and you can't afford the textile pants at the time, skip out on that. Hell, skip out on the jacket. That's fine.
I was going to say, I think the majority of people that ride scooters don't wear any gear.
But this wouldn't be about a protection thing, even though a protection thing would be a side effect.
Environmental.
This would be environmental, like
Well,
pure.
they probably already have jackets and whatnot.
Wear like a winter jacket, and then
A motor fist.
a motor fist. That would get the job done. Oh, and the something that's affordable, very affordable, that doubles multiple duties is rain gear. If you wear your winter jacket, 25 degrees is still way too cold for even just a winter jacket on a motorcycle. But you throw your rain gear on top of it, and all of a sudden, it's manageable. It's not comfortable, but it's manageable. And then a good pair of gloves in the winter, that goes a long way. But
Yeah.
there's winter gloves out there.
You can pick those up for nothing. You can get like a $10 or $15 set of like, just like what you'd go and shovel your driveway with. Just like the big ones, like snowmobile gloves, just like you'd call it ski gloves. And you'll pay $20 for that set, and those will do fine.
Those will do fine. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I would say that I didn't realize before riding motorcycles is if you're not wearing the right gloves, your hands get cold very quickly.
And painfully cold. And
Yeah.
They get so cold that you can barely move them, and then you can't operate the controls. So it's like keeping your hands warm is pretty vital.
Mm-hmm.
Which, going back to the concept of commuting and bus, etc., the one thing I regret is that I didn't really get into motorcycles when I actually had a commute. Because, think of all the great commuting on a motorcycle I could have done. It was 35 miles each way. And I was doing that 5 days a week.
Well, you know what, though? I actually hate commuting by motorcycles. I really don't like it.
It's inconvenient.
It's inconvenient. It's boring. It's
It's more fun than driving a car.
I would rather take a car.
I don't mind mine, as long as I don't need to, if I know that I don't need to do anything, like if I don't have to travel to another plant during the day, I'm okay traveling to another plant if I take my adventure bike. I'm not terribly thrilled about riding my scooter down the cut in the hill and up the cut in the hill during the horrible traffic hours that I have to drive.
You mean the times when I do it?
Yeah. I really am not pleased to have to do that.
You'd be fine going down the hill. It's up the hill.
It's not that bad. You just hop over in the semi-truck lane.
The truck lane.
Yeah.
I just worry the other traffic is just that's a long way up the hill. I'd probably, because I've done it before in the scooter. I've rode it all the way there.
Yeah, we rode to demo day on scoots.
But it's like hair raising because you can't do anything about it.
You can't, no. You just
are
hold
where
the
you
throttle
are,
wide open, and that's where you're at.
and that's all you got.
Wouldn't be a problem if you were on a Kimco People 300 GTI.
It wouldn't be because I could do 90.
But like, so I say commuting is boring and I don't care for it. But when it comes to this winter challenge, since I did it last year, it gave me a new appreciation for it. But like I said, it's due to the adversity. That's what made it interesting and fun. Like, you get up in the morning and it's 12 degrees outside and you're going to go ride your motorcycle to work. And my commute's 50 miles each way. You really got to like make sure that you're okay being exposed to 12 degrees for an hour straight while going 60 miles an hour. Like, that's a whole different level of cold. So I enjoy the adversity to it. And I have had situations, it didn't happen to me last year, but I have had it in the past where I went out fully geared up, heated gear on, and my heated gear failed. Oh, and you think like, oh, wow, you don't have the luxury of heated gear. Don't forget, I'm dressed for heated gear. So without the heated gear, I am not wearing near enough layers. I am screwed if that happens. So like, I need to make sure my equipment is on point to make it happen. Like, well, it actually did happen last year during my challenge. One of my heated glove liners, because it was so old, is like 10 years old.
How does it fail? Is it just the wires in it? Or
like whatever it is, it can be like a fuse pops and then it just doesn't work. I've had that happen before.
Can you service the fuse?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't know while I was on the commute. I had to get somewhere to. I got into work and then I figured it out.
Can't feel my left hand.
Yeah, but I had a glove burn up. It was like a 10-year-old glove, heated glove liner. It literally, like, as I was rolling down the road, all of a sudden, like, I felt a stinging hot sensation on one of the tips of my fingers. I was like, ow, ow. And like, it was enough to make me worry. So I pulled over on the side of the road, like right there, just instantly, just pulled over, ripped my glove off. And I look at my glove liner and it's smoldering and there's like an ember glowing on it. And it was like, it was literally like melting and burning the glove to my finger. Whatever happened, it like short circuited and was like burning up, and it was literally burning the material. So I unplugged it as quick as I could, and I pulled it off, and it cooled off because, you know, like some materials, if they burn, they melt to your skin. So it cooled off, and then I put it back on, and I put my glove back on over it, and I didn't plug it in, and I had to ride into work with one glove heated, one glove not heated.
Which hand was it?
I don't remember at this point, but I think it was my right hand, actually. I think it was the one you don't want it to be.
Oh, that would suck.
Because it's the hand that has to be on the bike.
You can't just like
tuck
put
it away.
in your jacket.
Which is what I would have done, but I'm pretty sure it was my right hand that did it. So I just had to ride to work with no heated glove. So I had to I have heated grips, so I jacked the heated grip all the way up, but
it's not enough.
That only gets your palm in reality, and that's what I've learned. It's really not as great as it sounds on paper.
Yeah, well, now you've got the BMW with heated grips, and you've learned, like, when it's summertime and you get caught out at night and it's only 65 degrees, the heated grips are great.
Well, but I don't remember that I have them and put them on. I'm not to that point yet of realizing, oh yeah, I can do something
flip the grips
this.
On. But when it gets down into the 40s, the grips aren't enough. And once it gets below the 40s, once it gets into the 30s, heated grips, like, you'll survive, but you won't be comfortable. And once it gets, and then you go below 30s, heated grips are like useless. Like they don't do it. The only reason I turn them on below 30 degrees is because it keeps the grip itself from sucking the heat out of my hands, because the grip is attached to a metal bar and it'll just suck the heat right out of your hands.
Yeah.
Even though you got your gloves going.
If you get motorcycle heated gloves, and I think probably all heated gloves are like this. I just know specifically my motorcycle gloves.
Only the outside.
The outside layer is what's heated. So down the fingers and then the back of the palm. The inside is not the heated part.
Oh.
And so when you're gripping, the heat is on the side that all the cold air is hitting. And then if you have heated grips, the heated grips get the inside of your glove, and then it works great. I don't have heated grips on my scooter, so it gets a little cold on the inside, but the outside is good enough for the 8 miles I have to go.
Yeah, so you're not like absolutely comfortable, but you're fine. It's not a big deal.
And I can turn them up more if I have to.
The
The giant wind screen, the giant barrier on the front of my scooter does a really good job of blocking the wind.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't wear, at least so far, I haven't worn anything other than jeans in my regular tennis shoes. I just wear the heated jacket and then the gloves.
You knew last year I got heated socks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, next level. Like I went all the winter riding I've done for years and years and years. I've always just worn like regular old socks inside my motorcycle boots. But last year I added heated socks to my collection. I wish I would have done it sooner. That's next level. You've never experienced comfort.
I want the soles.
Dude, the socks are way better than the soles.
But the problem is then once I get to wherever I'm like done
Oh,
with.
I wear normal socks and I put these over them.
Oh, okay.
You can't show off your cankles though.
Yeah, you're going to be covered up. No kinks.
I don't know how you're gonna get your OnlyFans money then.
Does your heated pants have a harness to plug the socks? See, mine don't, which means that I'd have to run a harness,
A Y harness
down, and then I'd have to get a Y to plug it into the same.
You sure yours don't?
I'm 98% sure
You need to
because
go- you need
I'm
to
pretty
go
sure
through
I've looked.
Mine had like a little zipper on the side, and inside that zipper was a harness built into it.
I'll have to look
for the socks.
because they laid out the heated gear layout weird on my bike. The jacket and the pants are on the same circuit. No, the jacket is on its own circuit, and the pants and the gloves
Yeah, that's
are on the
layout.
secondary circuit.
Why would the pants and the gloves be on the?
I think it's current draw.
I would think it would want to be jacket and gloves on the same circuit, and then pants on their own circuit.
That's what I would think, but
That's weird.
it's not because I have to use
I
both
would think
knobs.
the jacket would use more energy than the pants.
It does for sure.
It does. The jacket has I think there's some sleeve panels on both sides. There's 2 separate panels in the front and then 1 giant panel in the back. And then I think the neck portion is also heated on it. It has a pretty thick like turtleneck piece around it that's felt on the one side.
Yeah, they really want to keep your core warm. Like, I mean, that's always like the point when you get in a super cold situation, keep your core warm. So like the jacket is the primary warming device. The pants and the extremities, anything that warms the extremities is all secondary. I think it's not as, you can tell a difference. Like if you look at mine, the gloves, the pants, the socks, they're all made of the same material. The jacket's made of its own unique material. So it's like, it's totally different. And the jacket gets much hotter than everything else.
Yeah,
It's still not a super high wattage draw.
Mine is. Mine's pretty high.
Which I think mine might be 60 watt or 70 watt or something like that.
So it could be 69 watts.
It could be 69 watts.
I don't remember, but I know that it's pretty high. Like a 10 amp fuse is enough.
Oh, yours won't go on a 10 amp fuse? Mine.
If I'm running the whole kit, it's like you have to have a 15.
Does it have a
mine runs on
cigarette
10 amp.
lighter built in?
It should. It draws enough power for it.
Yeah, mine runs on a 10 amp. It won't run on a 7 amp, but it'll run on a 10 amp.
I think I have to have a 15 if I'm running everything. It's a lot.
Sounds aggressive.
It is. Well, and my scooter doesn't have enough stator for it, so I can't.
You gotta watch that. A lot of bikes don't.
I can't run the pants on the scooter.
Like,
I can only run the jacket and the gloves.
You could probably run heated gear on your BMW because BMW always puts a massive stator in their bikes so people can run heated gear. But Julie might not have enough stator.
You mean after I put that fresh $340 stator in?
Correct. You need like a 250 watt?
It depends on the bike. The
Are they
thing
measured
is,
in watts or amps?
Watts usually.
Yeah,
I
usually
mean,
you
amps.
get watts.
Amps is it's all.
There's some mathematics to do.
Yep.
but-
It's just all
watts
is amps times
I'm
volts.
just used to cars measuring alternators in amps.
In amps, yeah. In
Yeah.
bikes, they usually measure it in watts. But you need like I think it's about a 250 watt stator is where you want to be or more if you plan to run heated gear.
Do we think my
Like-
people will be capable?
We'd have to look it up. Seriously, I have to look it up on every bike.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
switched
won't-
out all the lights on. Like I put LED lights in the.
I noticed
the scooter
that.
to lower the wattage, so
So
that
he could run
I
heated
had
gear.
enough to make sure I could run the heated gear. Like it's that bad.
Like there's very limited electricity on a motorcycle. So like whenever I buy a bike that's for long distance touring and stuff, I make sure it has enough stator to run heated gear before I buy it. If it doesn't, I won't buy it.
Because I think mine, in the underseat box, there's an outlet. And I think there's a sticker that specifically says wireless phone charging only.
Yeah, that's common. Like my scooter has a cigarette lighter in a compartment, and it says the same thing: wireless phone charging only. And I think it only has like a 2 or 3 amp fuse. It's a very small fuse.
So would you blow a fuse if you put a cigarette lighter in it?
Yes.
Oh, I always wanted to burn somebody.
Yeah, those require at least a 10 amp.
Yep.
So yeah, you can only charge small electronics devices. You got to be careful with that on those.
No ciggy poos.
So
Bad for your health.
my heated gear is all plugged in, basically direct to the battery.
Yeah, it's best to go direct to the battery, and that way you get a fused isolation straight from the battery, and it helps. The battery acts like a buffer between the bike's electronics and the heated gear, because the heated gear, it's very noticeable on my scooter. When it's running, it pulses pretty fast, and so you can see it in the lights. The lights will pulse on the scooter
Yep.
when you're idling, because the heated gear is like right on
Drawing
the
it
edge of
down
drawing
so
too
hard.
much. But the battery, if you put it on the battery kind of helps buffer between the electronics. What are you doing, Ollie? What are you doing?
He wanted to be part of the podcast today, I guess.
Yep, that's what we got going on with this Frostbite challenge. We're 20 days a month from November 1st to January 1st. So 2 months of riding, and primarily riding. The focus is riding, not doing other stuff. But if you need to make up some time, you can. There's some alternatives.
But no, that was the, let's see, hour and a half explanation of the
Yeah.
Frostbite challenge with
Oh.
just a few tangents.
If we I wanted to mention this real quick because you guys haven't even heard this. If this ends in a tie on January 1st, it's a ride off. And for a ride off, what we're going to be doing is January 2nd, it's 10 miles. January 3rd, it's 20 miles. January
We're just going to end
4th,
it quick, aren't we?
well,
80 miles.
I'm going on vacation on, I think it's the 8th.
It'll keep doubling until the people drop off and there's one winner. So potentially it could be like you have to ride 400 miles in a day. Who's doing it?
The winner.
Yeah, because nobody else is going to do that.
So that's why I wanted to end quickly.
What
So
day? What day is that going to end on?
What do you mean?
What day is the first weekday?
I have no idea. I haven't looked.
Well, I don't have my phone. You're the only one with a
no, I
phone
forgot.
here,
I'm the
so
only one with
please
a phone.
math for us.
Because if like the second or third is like a Monday or something,
The first
where
is
he
on
has
a,
off and we all have to work.
the first is on a Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's
the-
when it
the
it
first-
ends. And if it's a tie on the first,
So Thursday is 10 miles, Friday's 20 miles, Saturday's 30 miles, Sunday is
Well, it's not 30, it's
No,
40.
or sorry, 40.
miles.
Sunday
Is
is 80
80.
miles.
Monday's 160.
So
Figure it out.
Monday, I'm going to have to take a vacation day.
Figure it out.
Well, so that would only happen
And then
if
320. If we get past
yeah.
that, it's 320, and I got to work on Tuesday. So
And that's Tuesday, the... What day of the week is that?
like the
what?
Fifth.
5th.
Okay.
Or,
So
no,
I'll
I'm sorry.
still-
It's Tuesday's the 7th.
I'll still be here.
So, yeah, like if it comes down to a write off,
I think it will because I think we're probably all gonna at least
I
the
think-
three. I think the three of us will make it to the end of the
and
year.
John's got heated gear. Don't count him out.
Well, John,
He has commitment
yeah.
problems, though.
Oh, I know.
exactly.
So-
Like he was the one that I thought he was out before it even started because he didn't put anything in. I think Danger's out though.
Yeah, I think Danger's. I kind of figured Danger'd flake. He flaked it for like 2 days, but John, I think I think he's in there. We'll see, but I think he's tough enough and stupid enough to keep riding through the winter. So I think we got a game going on
Okay,
here.
John, our listener, show us.
And get on the podcast, you weirdo.
Yeah, there's a spot on the couch.
I literally have a microphone
Exactly.
and a boom waiting for you. Yep. All right. Play the music.
Play the music and hope somebody says something.
Play that
stupid.
Nick sound effect.
Oh, now in the next one you have to play another.
Here we go.